Next, we would be reading the text of the poem and understand what Robert Browning has to say in the poem My Last Duchess. Here is the text of the poem. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder. Now, Frau Pandolf's hands work busily a day, and there she stands. Will it please you sit and look at her? I said, Frau Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance, but to myself they turn, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but I, and seemed as they would ask me if they durst, how such a glance came there. So not the first are you to turn and ask thus, Sir, it was not her husband's presence only, called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek. Perhaps Frau Pandolf chanced to say, her mental lapse over my lady's wrist too much. Our paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half flush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, it was all one. My favor at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the buff of cherries some official fools broke in the orchard for her, the white mule she rode with round the terrace, all and each would draw from her alike the approving speech. I blush at least. She thanked men. Good, but thanked somehow I know not how, as if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. Who would stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Even had you skill in speech, which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one and say, just this or that, and you disgust me. Here you miss. Our dear exceeds the mark, as if she let herself be lessoned, so nor plainly set her wits to yours, forsooth, and made excuse. Even then would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whenever I passed her. But who passed without much the same smile? This grew, and I gave commands. Then all smiles stopped together. There she stands, as if alive. Will it please you, sir? We'll meet the company below, then I repeat. The Count, your master's non-munificence, is ample warrant that no just pretence of mine for dowry will be disallowed. Though his fair daughter's self I avow that starting is my object. Nay, we'll go together down, sir. Notice Neptune, though taming a seahorse, thought a rarity which clouds of Innsbruck cast in bronze for me. That was the text of the poem, My Last Duchess. It's a very long poem, so I read the text in one go. Now we would be reading the poem or analyzing it verse by verse.